Howdy folks. Today's shaving cream is going to be Nivea for men. This one here, it comes, you see these sometimes in a white tube, white and blue, and this one here is blue and silver. I think one's more for sensitive and one's not. Uh, Sometimes these are easy for me to find, sometimes not so much. If I find one, I'll put a link down below. Uh, I also decided to go ahead and follow up, thought, Sunday shave, why not? I'm going to go ahead and follow up with Aramis Aftershave. Got this on sale a while back, my wife did. And got the usual suspects here in the way of the Crown King Alum Block complete with rubber band this morning. And also got the Humphreys Witch Hazel that's got peppermint and menthol in it. And I know yesterday, as soon as I turned the camera off, I realized what I forgot to do. This was the shaver yesterday, and I meant to show you what the blade looks like when it's sitting in there. And it's relatively easy to how can you say, remove this top cap. What I use is I've got a, I'll just use one of these right here. I got like a fluffy towel, and I can see if I can do this. It just slides right across the top like that. And so in other words, if you're not interested in buying the base plate to remove and install that cap, it's relatively easy to do, nothing to it. And the blade fell out. But anyhow, that's what the underside looks like. And the blade, like I said, this one here is just a pre-cut blade. And it's recommended that you use the DE blade snapped in half. And see, there's nothing to it. Just put it right back together. Anyway, I thought I'd better show that before I forget again. Also, got it whipped up here with a 3D printed brush handle from the Shaven Sailor. And this knot here is like a cashmere knot that I put in there. That's what it looks like there in the bowl whipped up. It's a moist, wet, I guess you might say. And this particular cream doesn't take a whole lot of water. So you want to start out with a damp brush and slowly add your water into it. Because I noticed for me, it didn't take a whole lot of water. So that's just something to think about if you're interested in using this kind of shaving cream. Excuse me. Yesterday was, I guess you might say, yesterday was the day that I shaved the wife's legs, and I used the, this seems to work better for me. This is a Star DE vintage. It's been around for a moment. It seems to work best for me. She uses the leaf razor. I prefer to use this. This works better for me. And of course, I use a Persona blade. But in today's shaver, though, I'm going to be using the Voskhod. And I usually get some pretty decent shaves with it. And it's going to be in the Merkur 42C. This looks an awful lot like the 41C, with the exception of the fact that the base plate is got a safety bar instead of open comb. And there's just a slight overhang on each side for those that may shave underneath your nose. And I think this is like a 3, maybe 3¼ inch. I can't remember how long the handle is, but it's just the same handle that's in the open comb version. I did read somewhere where the thought was that this was an aggressive shaver. I don't remember that. So I'm going to refresh my memory today. Also, I already put a hot towel to the face this morning. I'm going to be using the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Ice Cube. And this is not the only cube he's got. Douglas and Fran, they both got some different cubes. So if menthol is not your thing, there's others out there that you could choose from. And as well as they'll sell you a pad, if you will, a resting place for your cube. And yes, the cube is this big. It's 8 ounces. It does weigh just a bit. It's pretty good size, so it's going to last you a good long moment. I prefer I will prefer and enjoy menthol pretty much year round, but especially during the summer. And as it goes for application, I probably don't, I don't think, if I remember right, this is my method. In other words, there's instructions on how to apply it, what to do with it. Some people rinse it off, some people leave it on, some don't work it in. I prefer to work mine in, and I prefer to leave it there because not only does this work out as a pre-shave, know what's prepping your face for the shave, but it also has a lather booster, which, depending on how you lather, I'm a painter. I've noticed it does help just a tad bit, but if you're a face lather, it definitely probably would make a big difference on how the lather works up on your face. Yeah, I'm just a painter. In other words, my face lathering skills are pretty poor. I'll probably revisit again one day using stick soaps, see if I can't get better at face lathering. And like I say, this is a little wet. It's have a tendency to go everywhere. It works up pretty, at least for my kind of lather. This works up well. This is about the consistency, about the quote unquote thickness that I usually like to work up. This style works well for me. It may not work well for everybody. Just something to point out. Do your shaves that works best for you. Like I said, I don't remember this being an aggressive shaver. Maybe it was the blade. They didn't say what kind of blade they were using. But for me, it would be relatively easy to use as a daily shaver. You just probably need to figure out what blade works best for you. It works pretty well. I mean, for me, this is a shaver I wouldn't mind using every day. I do like the handle length. It works well with my hands not being very big. The short handle is fine. I have. Speaking of short handles and long handles, the first thing that popped in my mind was what I would consider the extreme in the way of handle length. If you've ever had the opportunity to use a Merkur Vision, those are no longer in production, but those handles are huge. I mean, really long. Just for me, just like wow. For somebody that's got bigger hands, it's probably perfect for them. And I can understand that because if you got big hands, this little bitty, this short handle is probably not going to work all that well for you. So you might swap it out, maybe use a bigger handle, but the short handle versus the what I consider the extremely long one, that Merkur Vision, that handle is big. It's a monster. My hands aren't that big. It's if you ever held one in your hands, it's definitely something to consider as it goes for handle length. What works best for you? Yeah, that shaver there, I don't think just because of the handle length, I don't think that'll ever work well for me. And they're not easy to find nowadays. It's been out of production for a moment, and it wasn't exactly an inexpensive adjustable shaver to begin with. This one here you can usually find pretty easy right around the $30 mark. But if you're like me, $5 does make a difference. You can pick it up around the $25 mark if you hunt long enough and patient and just keep on looking, be diligent. You can usually find a better deal than $30 for this particular shaver. Matter of fact, both of the 41, the open comb, and this one here, I did get around the $25 mark. I just, guess you might say that way about my gear sometimes. There is a time though I feel like you try to do your best to save as much money as you can when you're going down this rabbit hole. But sometimes there are certain shavers, if you really want it, you might want to get it when you first see it because they're not the easiest to find available. For instance, they may be on a limited run. You never know what the company is going to do, whether they're going to discontinue it or they're going to go out of business. You never know. Now for me, I should probably bring this up from time to time. you get new subscribers, new viewers, and whatnot, you can kind of see my jawline is not very pronounced. It's kind of round. So shaving along the jawline is pretty easy for me. But if you got a pronounced jawline, sometimes getting right along through here might be a bit of a challenge. And just when you stretch your skin, just move your skin up or down, whatever direction works best for you, probably both directions, in order to be able to get that without sustaining a nick or a cut. But for me, I don't have to worry about that. Face feels pretty good. In other words, I don't feel that this cream is drying my skin out or anything like that. I think the post-shave is going to be pretty adequate. Now, as it goes for the reduction in beard, it is mild. For me, in other words, I could definitely feel that this is going to be a 3-pass shave as opposed to 2 in a pickup. Right through there, I can kind of tell that that pass was definitely needed. There we go. Took down quite a bit. So in other words, like I say, a 3-pass shave, a daily shaver, I can definitely see this. It does make for an easy going shave. I'm not saying you can't nick yourself with this one here, especially with my creases through here. It could be possible if you don't get stretched quite enough. It is fun to shave with it though, because it doesn't take a whole lot of concentration for me. Makes it easier to talk and shave at the same time. Not like a shavette or straight shaver. It takes a certain amount of focus for me. I can't, unless I do it, I've been shaving several days in a row, be able to do it with, how can you say, with ease and be comfortable with it. Especially when you're changing in between straight razors, because to me, they shave different. The steel is different, the edges is different if you send it to different folks, or that's how you got it and you haven't sent it back out to your regular guy or whatever the case might be. Like I said, yes, the post-shave feel is pretty decent. Can't complain a bit. I don't recall exactly how much I paid for this tube. Chances are I probably didn't pay much more than $5 or $6. I'm just I guess you might say that kind of way on shaving creams. Shaving creams don't really last that long for me. And the reason being is that I have a tendency to whip up far more than what I need for one shave. Usually there's enough for 2 shaves, maybe even more. No stinging this morning. None. Very smooth, comfortable shave. Makes it for a day like today. Day's a mow the grass day, and so yeah, I don't want any nicks, cuts, or anything of the sort. Going out sweating and that stinging in the face is not something I look forward to. That's what I got left over. There is plenty. I like to say for a whole nother shave and probably then some. There was something I meant to show. This particular shaving cream, I don't know. It'll probably wash out like it did in the bowl, and that the light will not give this justice. That is a kind of a light rose pink color as opposed to white. Just something to point out. So if you decide to get this and this is the first time you ever bought it and you open it up and you see pink, that's the color. That is the color. Use some witch hazel here. How I got a hold of it, well, my wife bought the Aramis for me, and she had found it on sale, and it's not the cheapest aftershave by any means, but it is a really nice scent. I do like using it from time to time. I guess you might say for some folks this might be considered a fancy pants type aftershave. This particular scent has been around for a while. Uh, One of these days I'll probably go ahead and pick up the matching cologne, but I don't know if you can see that restrictor. It's the glass. It's not plastic or anything like that. And it does not have a problem coming out either. At least I'll smell good before I go mow the grass, right? Really nice shave this morning. So sometimes, when it comes to mild shavers, I think there's if you're liking aggressive shavers like I do, uh, it's good to have a mild shave from time to time. At least to me, it is. Especially like I say, when I'm going out to shave, I don't need any nicks or anything that's going to start stinging while I'm shaving, because I'm going to shave, then I'm going to go out and I'm going to mow the grass, and the next thing I know, my nose is running and I'm sneezing and carrying on. And I've already got those issues, and I definitely don't need my face stinging at the same time. Okay, I had a great shave this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and smooth shaves to you.